It's Thursday, which means we will most likely get off the rails. Sara Gonzales, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh
my gosh.
Lie to me. Don't you lie to me.
Good. There is nothing crazy going on in my personal life.
Nothing.
Everything's fine.
You know the thing about it?
What are you doing?
Hiding my double chin. No hiding this, baby. Let it out. You know the thing about the position that we find ourselves in sometimes is I have people who will say to me from time to time, oh, you've changed. You've become, okay, well, I'll tell you what, you have millions of people over the space of 10 years come at you day in and day out. Let's see how you hold up. All right. But it's one thing when you have, you're kind of being attacked by lots of little things, just gnats and mosquitoes that are ding, ding, ding all the time. But a lot of times we have situations where you have other people who actually have some really big influence, and then they start crap, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I've had to deal with it. You've had to deal with it.
I mean, it's an impossible situation.
Yeah. And if you fight back or you push back on anything, then you look like you're
the bad guy.
And it's like, I just really want to kind of keep my head down and move forward.
It's unfortunate that at times, I guess, we're the only adults in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of children that work in this industry.
There are a lot. There's a lot of people who are ego-driven, who are vanity-driven.
Yeah.
And there's people out there who try to get attention by being martyrs themselves or victims in a way. The martyr/victim, two different things, but let's throw them in the same category while we're thinking about it. And then you have people out there that just know that they're not going to get attention unless they're stirring crap up.
Right. And
I know those people, and then people want to come to their defense. See, you always knew that about that person. No, you really don't know shit because you've only heard one side of the story and half of that. I get it. I get it. I get people out there on their little Instagram deals trying to, come at me and say their little things. And I'm like, listen, I've made some mistakes in my life, but what do you want me to do? You want me to spend the rest of my life making up, doing some kind of penance for that? For
what? Complete strangers?
Yeah. For what did I? Tell me what I did to you. Tell me what I took away from your life.
Right.
That was so detrimental to you. Did I cause you to lose a job? Did I cause you to? No, I don't think so. I make amends to the people that need to be made. The amends need to be made to. But other than that, I don't owe you anything. And you get stuff thrown at you, and it's like if you fight back, you push back. Yeah. Then you're the one who, and then people say, "Oh, just ignore them." Well, we do. Right. You have no idea.
Right.
Anyway,
it's very difficult to ignore something when your integrity is being challenged.
Yeah.
But rise above or whatever.
If anybody has integrity, you do.
I mean,
that's for sure.
I appreciate that.
I know you as well as anybody.
I appreciate that.
And you keep your head down and go to work. Me, not so much. I mean, I have integrity. I've done questionable things in my life. Who hasn't? I like to party. I used to like to party. Not anymore. Now I just go sit by the fire at the Texican court.
Stop telling people where you're at.
See? Didn't I say yesterday? Didn't I say that? If I bring that up, Sarah, I have a public schedule. People always know where I'm at.
I was about to say you like relaxing at this really cool hotel that you found. And then you just blurted it out.
Ah, well.
So it's not going to be relaxing anymore because people are going to start showing up and finding you.
They won't come there. I stay in the gated part. I stay in the room with the door shut. That's the gated part. So it's all good. Well, are we in World War III yet? Is anything happening? I mean, did Jane Fonda hurt your feelings at all by saying that that we should murder? That she's thought about murder when it comes to pro-life politicians?
Yeah, I mean, no, I wasn't shocked to hear that from Jane Fonda at all. I mean, basically, you have the entire Democrat Party who's a death cult. So
they love to murder people.
They love murdering in the womb. They love murdering outside the womb. They love letting people out of prison so that they can murder more people. They love murdering people with maybe a jab or something. They just really love
euthanasia.
Murder. They love murdering people who are mentally, depressed, whatever, can't handle what's going on. They want to push them into killing themselves. They just really love death.
They do. Now, here's my thing. Here's what I'm thinking. So we saw the bank collapse with SVB and some others that have happened. And now the FDIC is basically broke because now they're going to take all of theirs to fund back on this stuff. So when it all collapses, when it all comes down, it's going to be interesting to see these celebrity lefties who have lived in their ivory towers for so long. Suddenly it's going to be an even playing field. And they're going to get devoured because they've done nothing but have people serve them and wait on them and pander to them and listen to their words. So we saw just how quick a fortune could disappear. And I mean a fortune could disappear. What happens when these guys suddenly find themselves, well, like peons, like me and you, you know?
Right.
It could happen.
Yeah.
And I think at some point it's going to happen to some degree.
I'm envisioning like an analogy that involves The Walking Dead. And let me tell you, those are the people who do not make it out alive. They don't. No.
They don't. They're the ones that are clutching their pearls and, oh, my God. And suddenly, next thing you know, they're being cannibalized by their Mexican servants. They just turn on them immediately. You know? Oh, I cook your filet mignon. That Mexican servant kind of had a French
deal. A little bit.
But, yeah, it's the same point. They're still dead. Yeah, I like, you see how fast something like that can turn. I mean, how will we ever, when the apocalypse hits, Brandon, how do you think we'll ever survive without movies? Like, what will I do without the next feature on Netflix of Nicolas Cage? You know?
Well, you see, my plan is I looked up where the closest Amazon hub is, and I'm just going to go loot that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you'll probably come out with a drone or,
I'll come
some
out with all
couplings
sorts of
and fittings.
useless shit, but I'll have stuff to trade.
You'll have a bunch of stuff. Have you noticed my truck out in the parking lot?
I haven't seen it today.
Yeah, see, I've been parking over in the alternate parking lot because I got my big trailer on the back of it. And like at this stage, I'm not taking my trailer off. I'm just going to drive
You're
around.
You're just going to leave it on?
Yeah.
It's way more of a pain in the ass to drive when it has a trailer on it.
Yeah, but if shit goes down, let me tell you.
That's like your instead of your go bag, it's your go trailer.
It's my trailer. Some people have a go bag, not me.
You just have a trailer.
I have a trailer. People are like, why don't you get that wrapped with your name on it and stuff like that? And I'm like, have you ever met Sara Gonzales? Have you ever watched my show?
That's going to be a big no from me.
Yeah, no,
absolutely not.
I want to remain nondescript in regard to that.
Don't want people knowing who
you
are.
No, I could survive a year in that trailer.
Yeah,
and I could just live in the trailer. I'm not taking it off. No, it's pretty much my Armageddon vehicle now.
That is so funny.
You've seen the front of my truck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've seen my road armor bumper on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I call it the protest buster. People are like, why do you have that on? Don't you worry about me. Doesn't that kill your fuel mileage? Don't you worry about me. I'm okay. The cage on the front of that truck, let's go. Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does it feel incredibly safe every time you drive your truck?
Yeah.
It's gigantic, but like I look at it and I'm like, man, if you get hit, like things are just bouncing off of you at this point.
Yeah, because it's been hit. Like I've been hit a couple of times. You look at my rear passenger or my rear driver's side door, it's dented in from where somebody decided to merge a little too fast, and then some deer have hit the other side of it, while I was doing 75 miles an hour. People were like, dude, you stop. I was like, didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
Just looked in the rearview mirror and saw that
it.
son of a bitch spinning out there on Highway 6 in Texas. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
It's going down the road. I mean, that's legit. I'm driving in a steel death match right there.
You really are.
I am the octagon.
Yeah, I just can't get over I can't drive things that are that big.
Oh, it's so big.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
just
big.
can't. I mean, I drove the biggest Infiniti. What is it? The QX80. I test drove that, and I was like, "Oh, this is way too big for me. I got to get out."
Yeah,
I would not survive in a
Sarah
truck.
in her Porsche.
Yes. Don't be telling people what I drive, okay?
No,
I'm not like you.
Listen, here's the thing. Here's what I want to point out. Sarah comes here and is like, my personal life. She's crying in her Porsche.
My Porsche that I earned.
You did earn it.
And paid for with my money.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Making more money than a lot of dudes I know. Most dudes I know. All the dudes I know.
There's worse cars to have a good crying. If you're going to do it, at least do it. There's worse cars to have a good crying. You get to do it in style, at least.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
And I will say, now that you've outed me on what kind of car I drive, it's funny because...
There's a lot of different types of Porsches.
Well, right. Well, fair. But, don't you love it when people come at you on social media like, get a real job.
Yeah.
Get a real job, as if the only thing I do is tweet all day. And I'm like, honey.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You'd be all right.
I'm good.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're like, don't give up your day job. I was like, oh boy, if you knew.
Exactly. I'm like, I have like 10 day jobs.
And if you knew how much being stupid pays.
Right.
There's an art to being this stupid. I assure you of that. People are like, oh, it's all about the grift. It's all about the money grab. No. I'd say the things I believe. I'm not. I've never compromised that. Nope. Did you see, by the way, where Chip Roy, congressman from Texas, endorsed Ron DeSantis?
I did.
It's weird to me you start endorsing people that aren't running.
I thought so too. I thought that's a very strange political move.
Yeah.
For Chip. I love Chip.
I love Chip. He's a good friend.
For me as well.
I'm not going to text him and be like, bro, what's up?
Although I was tempted, though.
I was tempted to.
I know, me too.
I don't need to know the answer. I can probably put two and two together, but yeah.
Just a weird move. Well, you don't want that for Chip because he's been so strong in the Congress where we need him, and you don't want people calling him a globalist and all this other, garbage that's going to get attached to him. I just wish he would focus on doing what he's doing in Congress. Yeah,
do your job. Let's don't get into races that aren't being run yet.
Please. I don't even want to get into it when it is run.
Yeah.
Let's not get into it before.
Yeah. I think I probably shouldn't say this, but it's never caused me to shy away. I think Chip Roy is going to run for John Cornyn's seat for Senate in Texas. I think that's what's going to happen there.
I had a conversation with him about that a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much I want to share, but I think it's definitely something that's he understands that many people want him to do that.
A lot of people want him to do that.
I think it's being considered.
So you heard it here first on the Chad Prather Show.
Yeah. Sorry, Chip.
Yeah. I don't care.
Oh, I do.
Hey, listen, if he can endorse Ron DeSantis, who's not running, I can endorse Chip Roy, who's not running for John Cornyn's seat.
And that's a much less controversial thing to do, by the way.
Right.
Because nobody likes John Cornyn.
Nobody. Nobody. So, I had questions as to, I won't get into the things I do know, because it ain't my business to tell, Oh. Well, I had questions about other people potentially running for John Cornyn's seat. And
I see.
Then it was like, no, I think it's going to be Chip Roy. So good.
I hope so.
I think between Ted Cruz and Chip Roy, senators from Texas, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, Ted Cruz is.
I think he's fine for now.
He's fine for now. Okay, I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, I think there's far better than we could do. We could do far better.
Yes.
But yeah, somebody wanted to know why I did not wear your makeup last week. It's like, because it won't come off.
It's true. That is true. And also, do you think I want to put my brand on his face? Did you like what you saw there? Was that attractive to you? Does that make you want to go buy some of my makeup? No.
I don't know. There's probably some kinky ass people out there. Kind of want to see what kind of shade of mauve I was wearing.
I should enable a coupon code on American Beauty by Sarah Chad's Pads. Get an extra 20% off with promo code Chad's Pads.
Oh, AmericanBeautyBySarah.com. Okay, let's take a break. You might remember on a recent episode, I was singing the praise of an all-natural supplement called Liver Health Formula. How it works, great to rejuvenate your liver, reignite your metabolism, burn fat, boost energy, fight fatty liver that affects 100 million Americans. Well, the good folks over there put together a short presentation that shares 4 warning signs of a damaged or fatty liver. The warning sign number 2 is downright scary, and you can go watch that free presentation and learn more about your liver health right now. So head over to checkyourliver.com/Chad. Again, that's checkyourliver.com/Chad. Don't move. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's take a little break from Sara Gonzales being on the couch. My buddy Luke Coffey's here. Luke's he's kind of been through it. He is a living soul that has been dealing with this nightmare consequences, ramifications, whatever you want to call them, from January 6th. You were there. What happened with you January 6th?
Chad, thanks for having me on the show. Good to see you. It's been a nightmare of 26 months. I was out January 6th as a Trump supporter. I went just also as a filmmaker to document the day. I knew there were going to be a ton of people. There were upwards, they think, of a million plus at the Ellipse alone. I have about 4 hours of footage.
Oh, Sara.
I'm back.
Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, I got to wax eloquent. Let me see if I can. Guys, you remember that little piece of American history known as The Office? Did you watch The Office? Were you a big fan of The Office? I like The Office.
Not a huge fan, but it's good. It's a good comedy.
Well, I like it. You've heard of The Office.
Yeah.
It was a British comedy, then it became an American comedy. I like it. I don't care if you're a baby in utero right now, you probably are aware of The Office on some level. Well, Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight Schrute, he came out recently with a tweet that's bound to land him in a whole heaping pool of hot water. Now, in order to have context for that tweet, you got to be aware of a currently running show on HBO Max called The Last of Us. Fortunately, everyone, including the same babies in utero I mentioned earlier, are also aware of this show, and I've been watching it religiously, but on the off chance that you're one of the 5 people in the world who haven't been, let me give you a brief overview. Mushroom zombies are eating the world, and one man has to take one young lady who's immune to a hospital where her blood could be used to synthesize a cure. That's pretty much the story. And in the episode which Rainn Wilson references, these 2 heroes of the story come across a village of people who have become a religious cult and are led by an evil, cannibalistic pedophile pastor named David So. Rainn Wilson's tweet, he said, "I do think there's an anti-Christian bias in Hollywood. As soon as the character of David started reading from the Bible, I knew that he was going to be a horrific villain. Could there be a Bible-reading preacher on a show who is actually loving and kind?" Well, the answer, of course, is no. In Hollywood, the general rule is that if you have a Christian character, and especially a character of any sort of moral authority, he or she must either be a colossal idiot or a demonic asshat. In the case of this episode of The Last of Us, of course, we get the more common, one in the latter version in the form of a preacher who not only has his followers committing acts of cannibalism, but who is also not too concerned about the age of his sexual prey. So, folks, I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction than what you might think I'm going to say. Anyway, here's why The Last of Us is actually a good show. It's really good, in fact. It's well shot, well directed, well acted, pretty much everything. It has excellent production value. This is, in short, a mainstream, top-of-the-line Hollywood effort. Unlike a lot of other television series on tap these days, this one clearly has a team of writers and editors who care, who pay attention to details, and make sure that the best possible product gets put out. And yet, they have a character like this who is an absolute stereotype, the Hollywood stereotype of Christians, and it sucks. I mean, it's just so on the nose that a fellow Hollywood actor, one who's not even a Christian because Rainn Wilson is a member of the Baha'i faith, a fellow Hollywood actor is pointing it out. And do you know what that tells me? Well, they got nothing. They've been running us Christians down for decades now, and the pendulum is finally swinging back because they've exhausted every arrow they had in their arrogant quiver. Now, I do believe, folks, that the culture is beginning to change, to shift back against the capricious whims of the woke subculture, and I think that this is a fine example. They'll still try to make us all out to be villains and rubes, but even they don't have the energy to try to do it with any nuance anymore. So I don't know. Maybe I've got the wrong notion here, but what I see is a fighter about to go unconscious, taking an effective swing that will inevitably fail to land. Bottom line is the jokes have all run out. Mm-hmm. They've all run out. So people are tired of the stereotypes. I mentioned it yesterday, that new movie, the Jesus Revolution. I mean, it's kicking ass. It's kicking ass at the box office. Everybody's watching that thing, going to see it.
Really?
Steve, destroying the expectations.
Huh.
I mean, just they're blowing it up now.
I am so far removed from anything that's going on in Hollywood.
Yeah, I keep up. I see just a little bit because I'm kind of staying tuned into what Steve Dace is doing with Nefarious
of course.
And all of that.
Which is amazing.
Here's what I want to have happen. I just want Steve to be my friend, you know? I just want Steve Dace to be my friend because when he's like a mega millionaire and he's like living in the Iowa mansions up there, and he's like living in an underground bunker because he's tired of the snow in Iowa. Because he's always said that as soon as his son's out of high school, poof, he's gone. He's either going to Tennessee or Texas. And I just like,
we got to get him here.
Yeah, I just want Steve to be my buddy. So
well, Steve is like one of my BFFs now, so I feel like I can get you in.
Mine too. Like he told me, he was like, Chad, you gave the first real review that got me excited about the movie.
Aww.
And I was like, look, dude, I know you were a nerd in high school and I was a cool kid, but bro, you got it now. Like you got it now, Steve. You're special. You're good.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
It really is a great movie.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to the public being able to see it.
It's exciting.
Well, because I mean, you almost wish that like it hadn't. I don't know how to do it because I feel like it almost gives it. People think that it loses credibility when they hear that it's like a religious film,
faith-based production.
Right, but it's not.
Yeah.
It feels more like a horror film, but you walk away feeling
with
like
a
you've
message.
been right.
Yeah.
It's just so unique. I've never seen anything like it.
Even a Glenn Beck cameo in there.
Even a Glenn Beck cameo.
I can take the faith-based stuff, but when they said Glenn Beck, I was like, what? After the Oscars, I had this idea. We weren't able to pull it off this week, but I wanted to do an award ceremony, and we'd have the Glens, and just Glenn would just dominate all the categories and give the award to himself. How on brand would that be? Just like, I don't deserve this, but I knew it was coming. You know, that would be funny. Give away little trophies. We need little Glenn Beck head trophies. You know, little
Glenn Beck bobblehead.
Yeah. I still. God, that reminds me. I got to send in my pictures to get my bobblehead done.
I was gonna say. I remember you talking about that a while back.
I got to take a picture of myself from all 4 angles, and I keep
really.
forgetting. Yeah.
Wow, that's comprehensive.
Oh, let me tell you, those little Chinese people got to carve you out perfectly. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But I have to take pictures from all 4 angles of myself.
Wow.
So maybe I'll get you to do that.
Okay.
Take pictures of me.
Okay.
That and I'm fat. I don't want a little paunch bobblehead.
We'll take the picture and then we'll have the graphics team go and like Photoshop you down.
Slim me up.
Yeah, slim you down and then we'll send it in.
I'm a bobblehead with a double chin and a fat belly. Yeah. Thicker than a Snicker.
No, stop.
I could have a bobble belly. That would be funny.
God.
Right there. No, but I wanted to have the Glens. I thought we should have an award ceremony where we just Glenn wins every category.
I'm not sure if Glenn thinks that this is as funny as you do, but
I've never asked Glenn's opinion on anything that I found humorous ever, because he wouldn't like it. He did not like my female character. He did not like.
He didn't.
He did. He thought I was very, very ugly.
Well, I mean, to be fair, so did I. But I thought that the skit landed.
I think you have to look internally. I think you have to find the inside beauty that was the Chad Pad model, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I will find that inside beauty because there sure wasn't any on the outside.
No, I think it needs to be better hair. Could have been better hair.
Yeah.
That was your wig.
That was my wig.
And that was your wig.
It was my wig, but it looks much different on me because it wasn't meant to go on a giant man head.
Yeah, you don't have a 7 3/4 head.
Like it doesn't look like that on me.
No, there were rolls and lumps in my wig because it was stretched. Like I was literally squeezed in that thing. And just this week, 10 days afterwards, just this week did I finally get all of the goo out of my eyelashes.
Yeah.
On my right eye.
It's a serious problem. You know what? I'm glad that you got a little bit of perspective of what we have to do every day.
I've got perspective. That's why I was selling maxi chads, because I had started my period.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
If you're bleeding down there, you need to go to the doctor.
I just sneezed like a woman. How about that? I felt that pain. What's your take on this whole Drew Barrymore getting down on the floor on her knees in front of a guy?
Oh my God.
Like when she got down on her knees right there in front of a dude, I was
you're
like,
like,
what's happening?
What are you doing?
And Drew knew when she reached out and grabbed him by the
Yep.
hand, she knew she
Yep.
was holding a man hand.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how many fake nails you press on there, that's still a man's hand. And
Look at
you
that man
knew it.
leg coming out of that dress.
Yeah.
That's a man leg.
Yeah, I guarantee you rub that leg, it's rough. It is sandpaper rough. That is 80 grit right there. Yeah.
He did. He
you
probably
cannot
did laser
laser
it.
that enough.
Yeah, I know. That was the most embarrassing.
Yeah. You'd have to shuck that
Goofy.
onion down a couple of layers.
I mean,
That
words
was a
escape me.
grotesque display.
It was so incredibly. I was like, I don't know what I'm more offended by: the fact that she's kneeling in front of a man, or the horrible acting involved in this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so over the top.
It's like I said on my show Monday or Tuesday. I was like, it's totally scripted.
Yes.
The whole thing. They planned the whole thing.
Yes.
Out. Okay,
It was all
I'm going to
fake.
do this. We're going to, and they had her dressed like a man and him dressed like a woman.
Yes. Yeah. That's why
So-
she's wearing the ugly pantsuit.
Yeah, and she's got her little whatever, and she's going to get down and do that whole thing. And it's like, you've had this so much longer than I have.
Yeah. You tell me.
You tell me.
I want to hear from you.
And if you watch that clip long enough, when Dylan's trying to explain himself on something, she totally interrupts him.
Yep.
And
Yep.
says, "Oh, by the way, thank you." Like I forgot to thank the audience
Yeah.
for being so warm and
Thank
accepting.
you so much for your support.
Yeah, and it totally interrupted the profound point that this he was trying to make.
I don't think Drew Barrymore cares about trans joy. She doesn't care about it. I heard it from Dylan Mulvaney on her show.
Trans joy. That's what
He
Dylan
said he's going to spread. He was trying to spread trans joy, and she interrupted him. She's a transphobe. She doesn't care about
She's
trans
a
joy.
transphobe and gave no credit whatsoever to his chosen family.
Yeah.
None. So I don't. The chosen family was obviously the people who have Dylan in the puppet hold right there. People who are scripting and running this whole charade behind the deal. So I thought it was grotesque.
It was disgusting.
I
It was
thought it was
embarrassing.
grotesque.
I was so embarrassed.
Because to me, and this was my interpretation of the whole thing, we beat this horse to death. But to me, like if you did care about the quote real trans community, people who really suffer from a gender dysphoria, they feel like they are literally trapped in a body that is not their own. That's horrible. They're making light of that.
Yeah,
That's an atrocity to me. That is no compassion.
I agree.
So anyway, all right, you wild kids. I guess we got to take a break, Sarah. I just love our chats.
I know, me too. Our little
Sarah, I want to
fireside
get.
chats.
You know what? Here's the deal, Sarah.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Sarah, listen.
Yes.
You know who refuses to give a good review of my podcast more than anyone?
Who?
Myself.
Oh.
Myself.
Oh my God, me
I don't-
too.
Yeah, myself. Listen. Tell me, and you've been in the podcasting game for a long time too. So I want us to talk about how we can be better encouragers of one another, and just. Oh, and by the way, those of you watching right now with the camera, thank you so much for just the approval and the acceptance and. Thank you for loving me
Thank you.
when I was a woman last week.
Yes.
Thank you for just embracing my inner glow. And I am just, listen, the Blaze family, they are my chosen family. And I just want to bring Blaze joy to everybody. So, oh my God. Okay.
Love y'all.
Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. I miss Jen Psaki.
Do you? Poor man's
No, I
Peppermint Patty?
forgot she existed, honestly. We were during the break. Chris said, "You want to do Psaki?" And I was like, is that like that hot stuff they give you, that little Japanese rice liquor?
Saki. That's just Saki.
Oh, that's
Which
just
would
sake.
actually be how her name is pronounced.
I wanted to do Psaki. It's the hot rice liquor that the Japanese do, but it's got a hint of red stuff on top. So that's Psaki. It's got like her red hair. Okay, we'll think about that joke.
Yeah.
Let's play. Surprise me with this. I don't know that I've seen this. Play the clip.
If your boss is an MSNBC, which is sort of sometimes called like a liberal Fox, I don't think that's entirely fair. If you were asked to do any of that stuff, what would you say?
I would say no, but I would never be asked that.
But I'm asking, it's a hypothetical.
Well, I don't do hypotheticals, A.
Okay.
But B,
What?
look, I think this is an important piece to dive into because MSNBC has a very high standard of what is factual. You have to go through a process before you report things on air to make sure they are factual and you have sources. That is how news should work. Now, you can have informed opinion, which is what I will share and what others will share, informed experiences, informed perspective. That is an important part of reporting as well. But there is a huge difference between going out there, reporting things that are inaccurate, knowingly reporting they're inaccurate, and sharing perspective.
Man. All right. I immediately trust MSNBC now. They want to make sure that all the facts are checked and all that stuff before they report anything. I mean, forget the Mueller report or the Russian collusion story or Lurch on there talking about how if you get the vaccine, you can't give COVID away. You can't get it and you can't give it away. You remember that? Rachel Maddow?
Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
Well, it took me a while. You said Lurch, and I'm like, who is Lurch?
Yeah.
Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. Apparently did not check those facts before they did all that stuff.
That's shocking.
She kind of looked like she worked in a hospital there, Jen Psaki, with that
Did she?
outfit on, with that white orderly.
I thought it looked like she was about to go play tennis.
It looked like, or going to an insane asylum, one or the other.
Maybe she just broke out of that.
Yeah.
Did you see her say the other day that the president is a night owl and sleeps in till 9 a.m.? Or no, he's not awake by 9 a.m.
Yeah, because he's a night owl. He's up all night.
I'm so sure.
Sister, he's in bed 16 hours a day. He's only awake for 8 of the 24, I assure you. They got to explain why he's not up there in the morning.
Yeah. Maybe his timing is off and he is just only awake for just a few hours and it happens to be at night. So she calls him a night owl.
Can you imagine how damning it would be? I mean, I don't know that it would be because after all the stuff we've seen on Joe Biden, can you imagine how damaging and damning it would be if there was like a camera where you could see his morning routine? Like starting from when he wakes up to when he gets out of bed. Because I guarantee you, he doesn't get himself up.
No.
And get going.
No.
He's got people who are propping him up, getting him up. And
shooting him up with something, getting him going.
Getting him a little deal. And I guarantee you, that ain't a fast-moving morning. It's just not. You remember how Trump had to hurry up and get to the bunker? You know?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, they're not rushing with Joe. They throw him on one of them hand trucks and lay him back right there with the wheels and just scoot him on through like a dolly, you know? Just whoop, there you go. Put him on the elevator, take him down to the bunker. Shoo. No.
Well, he's very vigorous.
Very vigorous. Can you imagine him in the Situation Room? Can you imagine that? I mean, we've seen the images of, of the strike on the Bin Laden compound. We've seen all these different visuals over the years where a military strike was going down, and they're in the Situation Room. Yeah, can you imagine Joe in there? No, come on. Well, you remember when he was at the climate thing, and he's sitting there, and they had to go wake him up, and he's all passed out.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. That's when he was a fresh prez. That's when he was the fresh prez of the Beltway.
Golly, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he was falling asleep. I mean, think about how tired he's got to be now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's missing steps every week now. Like he tries to. I mean, that was a one-time thing. Now his falling up the stairs, that is starting to increase in frequency. But don't worry, MSNBC holds themselves to a higher standard. They're going to make sure to tell you the truth, and they're going to hire the likes of Jen Psaki. Who's going to be,
whose job was literally to lie to the American public every day.
And she did. And then all you got to do is look at her. Like, here was the difference between, you want to talk about, Fox News or Republicans. Like, here's the difference. Sarah Sanders was a great press secretary. She was great. But then when she was done, they didn't take a step down. They got Kelly McEnany, who was fired.
Yeah.
Like she was Sarah Sanders on steroids.
The best of all time.
They took Jen Psaki, who was a moron, and took a step down and did a diversity hire with Karine Jean-Pierre, and nobody knows what that bitch talking about. Nobody.
Well, that was Jen Psaki's plan to make herself look good.
Guaranteed her a job on MSNBC.
Yeah, and how do I leave myself a good legacy? I know. Find literally the dumbest person I know and put her in my position so everyone looks back and goes, boy, we really wish we still had Psaki.
Yeah. I wish we could finish this segment with me getting on my knees in front of you one more time, Sarah. Just one more time.
I was good with just the one.
Just the once.
Yeah.
I think it makes all your problems fly away.
I was okay with. I feel like
all your problems just poop, 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 poop,
really.
Poop, poop, poop. They did. They did. All right, hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, I want to especially thank Sara Gonzales for putting up with me, but Luke Coffey, make sure that you support him any way that you can, and help him out. He's got a lot of legal battles in front of him, and of course, we're seeing more and more of these stories that are coming out and are being heard. We got to keep on spreading those stories, and making sure that the real full story, not what the mainstream media wants you to hear. We need to hear those real stories. You can do that with independent broadcasters like Blaze, and you need to subscribe. BlazeTV.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. Make sure you're supporting independent broadcasting so that truth gets out and those stories get told. So thanks to Luke Coffey for joining me. chadpratherlive.com. Come and see me next week at in Midland, Texas on the 31st. Going to be at the Wagner Noel. Go to chadpratherlive.com. And again, this week, tomorrow night, or next week, going to be at Hanks in McKinney. We'll see you there. Bye.